Welcome to Groups this week. As a church, we exist to help all people become fully devoted followers of Jesus. And we believe doing life together is a crucial part of that journey. Now, during this time, we're going to unpack and dig deeper into the sermon we've heard this past week. Let's dive in as we continue to grow in our faith, knowledge, and love of Jesus together. Hi, everyone. Daniel here with Pastor David. So David, we've been walking through this season of Advent and discussing what it is like to wait on God with perseverance and trust. And so this last Sunday, we looked at Luke chapter 1 again and the appearance of the angel Gabriel to Mary with a very important message. So maybe could you tell us what exactly happens in this encounter?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because this is a passage that, is read almost every Christmas. And when I was looking at the passage, I'm like, man, I've heard this passage so many times every Christmas. And so I tried to step back and say, okay, what's going on here? Let's try to look at this with new eyes. And when you do that, and it's quite a remarkable passage because we read that, like an angel, not just any angel, but like the chief of the angels, Gabriel, gets sent to this middle of nowhere place called Nazareth. And it is kind of middle of nowhere because Luke actually describes where it is. Like we all know where Jerusalem is. He goes, but then, God sent Gabriel to, the city of Nazareth, which by the way is in Galilee, just to kind of locate it, to a young woman with an amazing announcement. And I think we just have to kind of step back sometimes and just look at how strange this passage is because we don't know a lot about Mary. Right? We actually don't. We know she's young, she's poor, probably. She's from a poor family. We know that she's betrothed, which is, legally bound to be married to a fellow named Joseph. We know she's a virgin. And we don't know a whole lot more than that, right? And yet, God sends the chief angel to go speak to this young girl. I mean, she's probably like 15, 16 years old, like most likely. I mean, this is quite a remarkable story. And he goes and he says, greetings, highly favored one, and he basically lays out this incredible vision where Mary is going to be the central character in the fulfillment of like the entire Bible. I mean, sometimes, we get so used to these texts and they just become rote. But this is quite a remarkable text. I mean, who is she? We don't know very much. And then we're told that, Gabriel tells her that, you're gonna conceive and have a child and you're gonna call the child Jesus, which means God saves. And you get this incredible picture that Mary is being brought in to not just fulfill the entire Bible, but to bring about the salvation for all of humanity. Young lady, she's 15, right? And so it is quite an amazing story. But what I find just so powerful, well, one, like I love in the Bible, there's lots of understatements because Mary hears this and says, and Mary was greatly troubled. Well, yeah, I think that's an understatement. Greatly troubled. And then Gabriel says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And which usually there's a reason why angels say don't be afraid. Is because people are terrified.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing is at the end, Mary hears the plan. That she's being invited to be part of, and the language is loaded. We don't have time to go into this, but I'd like you to actually, in your small groups, is to look at some of the language that is used, because a lot of the language that is used is it's echoes from the Old Testament. These are language. Mary's response actually echoes a lot of the prophets from the Old Testament. Whenever God charges them to do something. But my favorite part is that at the very end, when this incredible commission is given to Mary, Mary says, okay. Like she says, okay. Yeah. I mean, she asked one logistical question, how can this be since I'm a virgin? Which I think is a very good question to ask. But at the very end, when presented to participate in the salvation of the world, she says, okay. She didn't have to say okay. Yeah. But she does. And so I think, there's so many takeaways in this. And that's the problem. You become so familiar with the text. But, some of the takeaways are, who is Mary that God would choose her? Right. Yeah. But then we can go one step further, right? Who are you that God would choose you and use you to carry out his purposes? Who am I? Mm-hmm. And it really says something about the character and the nature of God, where he just takes all the things that we value, all the things that we think are impressive, and he just turns everything upside down.
Come on, man. That's good.
I thought it was. Wow. Well, it's in the text.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
For sure. And I love how they always include kind of like the emotion behind it, as you mentioned. And she was terrified.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, he shows up, okay, I'll do what you say. It's like, no.
Yes, a lot of the medieval paintings, you just say Mary. Renaissance is like, of course I will say it. But, it's actually, she would be just terrified, like as you and I would have been terrified. So, but she says yes. Yeah. And, it's interesting because how many things, what is Jesus calling you to do? And that you think about it and you're like, I'm terrified to do this. But we still say yes. Because he calls us to do this.
That's good.
Yeah. There's lots for you guys to talk about in your small groups, for sure.
We'll continue on the topic of Mary. As Protestants, we are often a bit cautious about talking up Mary.
Oh, that's true.
A little too much, right? But there are things in Mary's life that we do need to pay attention to. As you kind of have already spoken about. And is there anything else that we need to pay attention to?
Yeah, that's the problem. As Protestants, the pendulum swings the other way. It's like, let's not make too much of Mary. Let's not get carried away here. Because, our friends, the Catholics, have kind of made a little too much of Mary, I think. One thing to pay attention to is, in the text, Mary is a recipient of grace. Yeah. She's not a giver of grace. Like she receives grace in the same way you and I receive grace. Yeah. And so she's not the bestower of grace. Now, every generation will call her blessed, well, for good reason. But I think there's enough in the text for us to have a lot to say about Mary without going overboard, as our Catholic friends may do.
Fair enough.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I think that's plenty to talk about.
I think so,
honestly. So we'll leave it to you, group leaders. I hope you guys have a great discussion in group, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hope you enjoyed the teaching today. If you're wanting to follow along with the community group's discussion guide with your group, you can head to cachurch.ca/media, where you can find the discussion guide. Not only are there questions there related to the sermon, but there's also prayer prompts that relate to the passage or the topic that we were talking about, and practices that you can, on an individual level or a group level, begin integrating into your life to not only bring the knowledge into your mind, but to begin living it out.